All right, my check, my check.
All right, good, good, good. Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Great, great. Here we go. Let me just change this topic real quick.
All
I
right,
was
ladies
trying.
and gentlemen, we back. We back. This is the real deal versus how you feel. Thank you. You know, we had a little technical problems first, so this is why we back, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you deal with some technical problems and you just work through it, but the show must go on.
Right.
Hope everyone's enjoying their day. I know today is Wednesday, hump day, stimmy
Hippity
day,
hump day.
and almost time to end the week. So you know, uh, I'm ready for Friday too. But this is the hump day, so in the middle of the week. But for some people, it's really a really good day for a lot of people out there.
Is it
I
a good
see.
day because it's hump day, or is it a good day because it's stimuli day? They got them stimulus checks.
And I believe it's a combination of of all three. I believe it's a combination of everything. So
Cause
some people got
they gonna
paid.
get the hump because they got them.
Yeah, I get paid today and I get paid Friday, so it's a win-win for me.
Oh yeah, you living it up over there. Let me hold some. Well, I
Um,
just got paid. Talking about let me hold some. I got paid on Monday.
See, look at you. You
Mhm.
got paid Monday. You might get paid today. Then you might get paid you might get three times this week. Look at you. You don't you know it.
Mm,
Won't he do it in
didn't
his
even
own
know.
magical way? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right,
Mike
now,
check.
ladies.
Can you hear me, twins? Mike check.
Yes, and I can hear you loud and clear.
I can hear you. Still breaking up. If you can hear me, you like it up.
I mean, right now you're going in
There.
and out.
Okay, there you go. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I think it might be on your end,
Oh yeah, maybe. I
possibly.
mean, I'm back where I got all of the good Wi-Fi now. You know, got the Verizon account, the Optimum set up back
All
home.
right.
I apologize to everyone. I know it's after the hour, and I was hoping that I'd be able to run in the post office and come right back out. But clearly, I need to visit the post office a little bit more frequently. And I know that it's like they're giving out free food in there. And that's how long the lines go. So
Mm.
next time I'll know in advance. Oh, we got a message
I know, right out the gate. Go ahead and play real
out
quick
the
before we get into it.
gate. We didn't even say the topic yet.
I don't know where y'all at on the topic and conversation about the real deal versus your how you feel. But how you feel is effective depending on if you speak on it or not. But let me know where y'all at on the conversation and the title. But yeah.
That's no good. I mean, it's all good, no problem. So we just getting started, and the show is called "The Real Deal" versus how you feel. But the topic today that we're going to talk about is the pros and cons of dating and courting. So that's the topic.
The pros and cons of dating and courting. Have you mentioned this topic to anyone? To the wife or anyone?
Me personally, no, no, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Okay,
I
me either. I
I
started
haven't.
to, but I didn't know.
Yeah, I haven't been any around. I haven't been around any people at this time frame that's actually dating out there at this current moment, right? So from the time when I dated my wife until we got married, that's like 12 years ago. So things have changed from then until now. So we may need the help of our people who listening right now. How is dating going for you now in 2021? Because how's that going for you? What are the pros and cons, dating and courting? Now, I'm gonna say this: this courting thing is something is kind of new to me personally. Um, it might have been something I did not knowing, but yeah, I never. That was never part of it. That was never part of the game plan when I was dating.
Yeah, I think it's something you definitely ended up doing.
Mhm.
Maybe just didn't call it courting. You called it dating with intentions. Intentionally dating. You were very intentional when you decided once you got to that point. So I think it's like the same thing though.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome, listeners. This is The Real Deal versus How You Feel. Thank you for the comment and, just sharing your piece on just the real deal versus how you feel being the leading, the name of the show. Again, we are talking about the pros and cons of dating and courting. For me, Ms. I Speak Life, prior to 2021, my thoughts on dating, well, when I was dating, my thoughts on dating was simply like you date people, multiple people, until you decide, okay, this is the person that I want to, be in a relationship with. That's that next step. I think that people call it different things, but if you're dating, if you're in the dating phases of your relationship or your journey, I think that that's not um, it's not a one person, it's not a monogamous thing, but I'm learning that people, these things are different for everyone. So I know back when I was dating, I would, go hang out with different people. Like I didn't know it was that serious, but then I understand that people, Netflix and chill, let's just say for one, is different than for someone else.
Right.
So that's what I think is happening because for me, maybe it wasn't even really considered dating how other folks would date. There was no intimacy with these guys when I was going out with them. None of them could say they slept with me, did this or that and the third. We didn't do all of that. We were just hanging out, as friends. And then eventually I chose one of the friends to be in a relationship with, So yeah, let's see what the listeners have to say. And I think we're going to learn something today. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to press play unless you have something else, twins.
Yep, you're good. Go ahead.
All right.
I got a big fan of I explain that part later, but I became a I guess distance, and within that I used to have this long extra tooth before how I got it. I chipped my other tooth on the car. About a week ago, I chipped my other tooth on the concrete, and now it just I haven't showed the ones that see me before now, and I'm pretty sure if the dating was to be considerate, I'll probably.
Now, I know they're saying something about a chip tooth. So, is the chip tooth something that is a challenge that you have with dating? If that, I'm just wondering if that's where he's going with it, right? I have a chip tooth. I got mine in a car accident, and I had mine before I met my wife. So hopefully, the chip tooth is not a deal breaker for most ladies out there. But go ahead, Miss I Speak Like you would say anything to that.
No, I'm thinking that maybe he posted both of these, and I was just gonna press play to hear the rest. But if not, then I'll maybe have a comment. I'll press play.
But before the time now, 2021, I had a I was actually proving that I'm gonna accept the fact that I might be adding some shit, some tattoos or piercings, and might just make ugly look a tad bit considerate. Either with benefits, being straight, homosexual, it'll come with consideration. Instead of the consideration of I know I'm gonna consider the distance and forever not fucking with you. I kind of seeing that I'll be adding some
Yeah. Miss I Speak Life, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I couldn't add anything. Sorry.
Right. So he said a lot there, and so the question right now that I'm posing to maybe you, sir, out there is that what are some of the pros or cons that you're dealing with personally when it comes to dating and courting when you meet, another individual that you're dating? What are some pros and some cons? And I'll give you some examples from what I put up here on my end. So, for example, the pros of dating would be one, get a chance to meet a wide range, a variety of people. For me, it would be ladies, right, in that category. Two, you have a lack of commitment, right? Because you're still mingling, talking to multiple people, right? Three, a chance to improve your social skills, right? So that means you get an opportunity to get in different places, talk to different people, build up your confidence, So that kind of works there and getting out there, being seen, being a little social, right? Four, a chance to experience rejection and learn from it. Now, some men don't know how to deal with that rejection, and I'm
So
not trying
say
to
that
change the
again.
topic.
Excuse me. Can you repeat that?
Yes, a chance to experience rejections and learn
Yeah.
from it, and a lot of men deal with a lot of emotional challenges with dealing with rejection. And I've been told at some point there's ladies out there who will give a man they will give a man a number just so she wants to deal with any aggressiveness. So just because she gives you a number doesn't mean she's really into you, because she might be doing it out of fear. And if I ask a woman for a number and she gives me out of fear, I don't want her number because she's scared of me. I want her to take my number because she might be interested to what I have to say, right? But yeah, that's that's number four for rejection. So we'll talk a little more into that in a second. Not least, five, to boost your ego. By dating multiple people to find out, who you're attracted to, right? Now, when say dating multiple people, if you're just dating, to know each other, cool. Some people put in like, okay, me dating multiple people, me I'm having sex with multiple people. No, I'm not saying that part, because you can have multiple relationships without even getting to that part. But it really depends where you're at mentally. If you're really looking to get, to be in a long-term serious relationship, then that might be handled or put a certain way. So those are some 5 things I think about pros of dating. What are your thoughts, Miss I Speak Life?
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I don't think you said it in any particular order, right? You just saying them.
Yeah.
Right. So I can't disagree with you. I heard put yourself could deal with rejection, and I think that does a lot of, that covers a few steps all at once. But definitely I don't have any disagreement. I just wanted to echo that one, but I agree with everything you said. Why behind these things is where I always tend to find a political person. I always try to figure out the why. Why do people feel like, dating is necessary? Because, and I'm saying that because you have arranged marriages and, things like that. And why don't people like the thought of an arranged marriage? Why is dating?
Yeah, Miss I Speak Live is having a little bit of technical difficulty. Okay, there she go. You back?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. I was steady going in too. I was talking about pondering and everything. When I start pondering on my thoughts and stuff. So I'm not sure what you guys heard last, but I was definitely in full agreement with what you said, twins, and just sounded again the acceptance of rejection, and not even rejection of just, I don't know why we call it rejection. It's just a no, but I don't know why it has to be rejection. Like the person just may not be interested or can't do it. So maybe they're not rejecting you, they just can't. It could be a not right now, whatever. But anyway, I definitely
Right,
agree
right.
with what you said. And I was just talking about how when I thought about this, I thought about why. The why is always something that's captivating to me as an analytical person. So why are people against, the arranged marriages? Or why do people feel like, they prefer just set me up? And I've heard this more lately. Like, we joke around even with our friend Corey. He'll be like, just, I'm about to do an arranged marriage or something, because some of this stuff is just a lot. So as I was thinking, is there a point of the long dating phase? People are ever changing anyway. You're gonna have to keep growing with this person. So I think that the pros is that you do get to develop a relationship with these people, with your person, right? You get to share certain parts of you that you wouldn't share with the rest of the world. And I think that's significant too. I think we, as the person who's doing the sharing, like to have that person that's set apart. Like, this is my person. We enjoy having that. So, and then the whole building, you get to decide, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to build. But as a con, those steps and the different what boxes these people check, I don't know if it applies to, it's not a one size fits all. I think this is where we tend to go wrong, is when these are the categories, this is a list, this is the boxes you have to check off, and you don't really leave room for just organic connection and things like that. So that's my take
Okay.
on it. But I agree with you.
All right. Well, I also have a list here of the cons of dating, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and if some
Now
things may even
this your list. Your list is based on like what you think, or like.
this some little information I pulled about doing a little bit of research. So it's gonna be a combination of my personal thoughts and then some things that I found online while doing a little research. I try to do a
Okay.
little bit of research on these topics so I have some information to speak on,
Right.
But
Right.
like so the cons of dating, what they have listed here and what they up is the chance of multiple rejections. And this is kind of something that you said as well of the word rejection. And I just want to ask you, what other word you think it can be used instead of rejection, right? I think rejection has a very strong negative effect, right? Do you think another word could be used for rejection? Ms. I Speak Life? So I'll give her a minute to respond. So you get a chance of multiple rejections, meaning that you're being turned down by multiple ladies or men, depending your dating preferences as far as meeting new people. Lack of commitment. Now, some of these people, you can see this as a positive and you can see it as a negative, right? But lack of commitment. These are cons of dating because you're talking to multiple people. It's kind of hard to really stay focused on one person because if you have two other people that you have, I'll say backup, whatever. If the first person you're talking to is not working out how you like it, you can fall back on the other person. So that's what I'm saying, the commitment part, because if you're dating multiple people or talking to multiple people, it's going to be hard to really stay focused with one person, right? Let's see. They have here lack of intimacy. That's if you're not planning to have sex with every person that you're trying to talk to. So if you have multiple people that you're all talking to and you're planning to have sex with them, that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, yeah. That one I saw and I read like, okay, not very clear there, but that's a con they have listed here for lack of intimacy. And last but not least, not having one special person in your life to whom you can rely on for emotional support. Now that's true because if you have, let's say you're talking to 5 people at one time, who can you really trust, right? And I mean, you can say I can trust all of them. No, you can't because trust is built up on time with a person and that bonding. So you can't have that great bonding with a certain person if you have 4 other people that you're entertaining at the same time. Like one day this person, next day this person. So yeah, that part there makes sense that's a con of dating, meaning that you're dating multiple people at one time. Ms. I Sweet Life, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I fully agree, or I don't think I fully agree, because what difference where's the difference in, unless you're intentionally dating, of course, like you said, this is my intentions are to be married. And I think this is where a lot of people are like not really on the same page. It's like, are you all trying to be married, or are you just trying to get to know people, or what? I agree with you 100%. If, well, first of all, I can't say I agree with you 100%. If I understood what you meant by dating. So I think this is where we have to be a little bit more specific when we talk about dating and courting. Are you seeing a difference in dating than courting? Are they one and the same for you? Twinsinc?
Was that a question for? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Repeat the
Before,
question. I'm sorry.
dating and courting, are they different, or are they one and the same for you? Are you saying that dating is the same as courting, or courting is different than dating?
So, right. So for me, it's different because I just dated, right? And like I said, I'm married now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm 12 years in, so it's been a while since I dated. So what I'm saying, when I was dating though, courting was something. Courting was a word that I did not know about when dating, right? So I might have been doing some of these things come courting, which we'll speak on those things in a minute, but I might have been doing those things, but not knowing I was actually courting. So I was just regular dating when I was out in the field, if that makes sense. Did that answer your question?
So when you were dating, were you sleeping with these women? Were you just taking them out on dates? Like, what is dating versus
right.
What is courting?
Right. See, so yeah, to me, so once again, the young me back in the day, I was sleeping with the ladies. That was me. Yeah. Because you know what? At that time frame, I wasn't dating for the purpose at that time frame. I was just living my best life, in best words to say. So, but did I have long-term relationship with ladies back then? Yes. I wasn't just sowing my oats all over the place. I were in relationships, but those relationships at those time frame, my early 20s, marriage was not the end goal for me. I just wanted to have somebody that I can trust and lean on, and during that time frame in my life, to someone that had somebody.
Right. Now, do you
That was
think
me
that's
back
a
in the early
healthy
20s.
part of the journey? Do you think that dating is a healthy part of the journey to do it that way? And then when you reach a certain maturity level, then go into courting, like or intentional dating, like you say?
I would say yes. I would say yes to that. And on top of that, you make sure if you're going that route, make sure you're doing the smart way, right? Because even though I wasn't in the mindset of being married to those ladies on a time frame, I knew personally I didn't want to have any kids yet. So I made sure I did my part to, one, protect myself from kids, and sexual long-term diseases that don't go away. So it just wasn't kids. I was making sure HIV, AIDS, STDs, those things are lifelong too, right? So I made sure I did those things to, because if I do want to get married, it'd be kind of hard to meet a woman in my late 27 when I got married, and I want to marry her, but not tell her, hey, I have herpes or something. You know what I mean? That's complete turnoff, right? So I make sure. Right. I mean, some people can deal with it because it's not all the way bad, but I don't know because I don't have it personally. I'm just giving you an example. Twinsinc never had herpes. Just giving you an example. But but I'm just giving you an example. Back then, you can do those things as far as dating and then sleeping around, right? Because it does give you experience. It gives you an idea of knowing what you want, and it gives you those things that you can look back on now. Like, I'm married now, so I can look back and like, okay, I learned this in this relationship. I learned that, so I won't do those things that I might have messed up on when I was dating, running the streets, right? So hope that answered that question for you.
No, you did. So it's different. We got a message. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and play it before I say any more. Hold on.
I think a better word to use, replacing rejection, will probably be acceptance. I say that because rejection makes us accept. So it's really acceptance at the end of the day. It's not really rejection, because the things that are rejecting you probably aren't for you at the moment, at the time, whatever it may be. But another word for rejection could be acceptance. Accepting the fact that I'm being rejected because I need to learn how to accept.
I like that. I like that a lot because you have to accept it either, you know what I'm saying, that she does, you have to accept that she wants to talk to you or accept that she don't want to talk to you. But I like that. I like that word. What do you thought, Miss I Speak Life? You still there? But yes, like I said,
Oh, I'm sorry. I
like
was steady talking, twins. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah,
What were you
acceptance.
saying? Yeah. I
We
like where he came from with it. I like that's his tone. You know how I feel about, it is what it is. Things they mean what they mean, and we just have to make it make sense. So I like how he made that make sense. He's not focusing on the negative connotation that comes with rejection. He's flipping it to I accept this, whatever it is. But really, when you say rejection, you're talking about refusing to accept. So that's kind of what rejection is for the other person. They're refusing to accept whatever it is you're offering them, So I mean, like I said, yeah, I like how he's able to just associate just the acceptance part of it and moving forward with that. Now the sad part is that that's not a common thing. Majority of the situations or experiences that a lot of us women have when we talk about dating and courting and how we approach and everything like that, a lot of men are not prepared to, like what was his name said just now. Do you know who that was? Doormat. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right, but come back on and tell us what that looks like, an example of what that looks like, because a lot of people aren't there. And then I'll give you an example of what I mean. When a woman and a man interact for the first time and that man offers that woman anything, a drink, a compliment, open the door, anything. And she could have a million and one reasons as to why she's not interested. She could have gone through trauma, or she could have a really controlling husband or boyfriend. You don't know what her reasoning is, right? You have no idea, but you just offered this and she's like, no, thank you. And as politely as she can, she, declines. And I think that's my word for rejection, just decline. I don't like to say reject because it could be a reason as to why. And whatever. The response or the reaction from that man usually leads to aggression, frustration, like automatically. And I don't know why. I was just in a room a couple days ago, and they talked about if a man asks a woman for a date, on a date, or to have a private conversation or for her phone number. And even if she doesn't respond right away, there's frustration. Or if she says, no, I'm not available today, let's try this other day, then it's, I'll forget you. How does that work? And I don't mean for us to get, sidetracked, but I am interested to hear,
No, because we have a lot of emotional young men out there who don't know how to deal with rejection. I mean, it starts at a young age, and it has nothing to do with parenting. It's just the world, period. I mean, when you think about sports, when you play sports now, everyone gets a trophy now. It's not just, there's no longer a first place, second place, and third place. Everyone gets a trophy. So everyone feels now they're entitled for the same thing, knowing that you're setting these kids up for long-term failures when they do get rejected. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you need to understand you have to work hard for something, right? So if a young boy's been told, if a young man was raised and told that he always get whatever you want, it doesn't matter who or what he does, and the woman tells him no, he don't know how to handle that because he was always been told yes or sure, or always got the okay pass. So that's how that emotional stuff, starts at a young age, to being a grown man, being emotional, and then when you say no to them, they get frustrated. Well, I think number one is embarrassment. That's number one, especially if they're with their boys, right? If they out with their boys and they come up to you and they talk to you, because first off, I'm gonna go back a little bit. So first off, if you're out in a public place, it could be the club, it could be at a bar, it could be anywhere out, right? In most cases, most places are with a group of women. So most of the time, you're not by yourself, right? So one, we gotta have that shame of walk to walk to you in the first place, right? And then we have to say something that's very cool, catchy, that somehow I can get you away from your other girlfriends, right? that's number one, right? Try to talk to you without getting someone jump in front of me, blocking, whatever case may be, and then you don't accept my invite, right? Then I gotta walk away. My feelings hurt. I'm embarrassed. My boy's gonna clown me, or like some dudes, they get real aggressive. What do you mean you don't want my number?
Yes,
and then
they do.
Then it goes from there. It escalates very quickly.
Yes,
And
they
like
do.
I said
As you
before,
guys have heard. Yes, they do, twins. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just agreeing. I'll mute.
oh no, you good. No. I just want to piggyback because I heard stories. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, the woman said no. Okay, no. On to the next one. But I've heard from multiple ladies that sometimes they give guys their numbers just so don't have to deal with any repercussions. I know a young lady where I grew up in my neighborhood. She got shot and killed just because she turned a dude down. She said no. He got mad and he killed the lady. Like, how emotional are you for a woman to say, no, you can't have my number or I'm not going to talk to you, that where it has to get to the point that you want to shoot her, right? And even to even add on top of that, even if she was a little mean with it, like, no, I don't want your number. Okay, cool. As a young boy and a young man, you've been, you might have been bullied. You might have been in a situation where your boys, if you play sports, everybody joke on what you wear, your clothes, like those things been said to you worse. You've been playing with your boys, they cuss you out, call you names, but you don't do nothing to them, right? So you'll be all quiet or whatever. But then if a woman says something and you don't like, you go 0 to 100, and that is so emotional and that is scary out there. And I feel for you ladies out there.
Yes, absolutely. I'll wait. I'm gonna let the message play, but that is real. I'm one of those women who definitely mentioned that to you. I will certainly give a man my number, and there'll be no issue. He gets to walk back over to his friends doing a happy dance. I get to enjoy that. He lives a good life. He's peaceful. He's happy. I go home. I block the number. That's it. Simple. It's easier to deal with. I promise you. I'm gonna go ahead and press play.
Hey y'all, how are y'all doing? Peace and love. I hope y'all are doing good. Okay. So, yeah, I really thought that was a great question. And I am curious to know, being that I'm a female, a woman in a woman's body, really trying to understand how men think, because I don't understand it. And I have 2 sons, so I want to help guide them through this journey of life as well. But I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not, I really try to reject this whole men ain't shit type of vibration that a lot of people have because they've been hurt and they've gone through some things, and then they just lump all men in this category, and then the conversation goes in this rabbit hole of men ain't shit. I don't believe that. Fact. But I do definitely resonate with what you're saying. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know if it's or people just already have this concept that you know what I'm saying, they're being vulnerable, and any form of you not accepting their date is rejected.
Yes. So, Miss ASAP, great question. And the fact that you're raising 2 boys, let it be known that they have to work for things. Nothing is going to be given to them, right? So make sure they understand that they have to work for things. Also, let them know that there's always going to be a ranking. There's always going to be a 1 through 10, meaning that there's always going to be there's always, let them know there's going to be leaders, there's going to be followers, right? Now, it's up to them as far as which category they're going to fall in, but let them know those are things that they need to understand. Because if they understand those concepts right there, if a woman says no to them, okay, cool, I'll go back. All I was doing right now is practice. Okay, she said no. All right, cool, no problem. I'm going to talk to another one, and then I get her number. You know what I'm saying? And then, when, you can do this. If one woman say no, cool, keep it moving, get another number there, and then show and treat that woman really good. So the other one said, oh, man, I messed up. I messed up a good opportunity, whatever. what I'm saying is that you need to make sure that these boys are not always getting the same trophy, saying, "Hey, you get the same trophy, even though one did more work harder than the other one." No, no, no. They need to understand that there is levels to these things, right? And that will eliminate all these emotional young men growing out there being rejected or not rejected, not being accepted when a woman says no. Because they need to understand that they need to make sure that their game is tight and they got their stuff together.
Yep. I mean, I have a son as well, and thank you for the comment, Queen. I'm glad that you are here with us, and you know, vulnerable enough to say that you want to know. I think that's commendable as well, because a lot of times, I think in interactions with men and women, we feel like we know. I know this, I know that. So I appreciate that energy because we're here to share and glean from each other. Um, I know me personally with my son, I don't teach him that life is a competition. I teach my children that life is a journey. However, I also let them know that, people don't care about you. That's just the reality. Call it harsh, call it cold, but outside of home, the world don't care about you. You are a number, social security number, employee ID number, um, tax ID numbers, student loan, all of these things, your number, your number, your number. So I let them know that, so that way they understand that their expectations, excuse me, there are no expectations for people. They don't expect people to just accept them or, want to be around them and different things like that. So the sting of not being accepted or dismissed or just is not there. So I think that's another piece of it. Stop going in with all of these expectations of people you don't even know yet. Why is the expectation that if you ask for my number, I'm just going to give it to you? Last I checked, I paid my phone bill. But I'm digress. I'm a press play.
So I would appreciate if the men who are listening or the brother who's here leading the chat would really be honest about this situation, because I find the same thing, even to the point where, because I'm from New York, like, it's scary. Like, there was a woman that was stabbed, like, not, she was bitten. Some guy like bit her in the eye or in the forehead because she didn't want him to buy. He asked if she wanted, a wine bottle or something like that. And he followed her out of the liquor store and he beat her up. There's been other accounts where, I've seen guys attack females that, like, what I'm saying, like, walk by or reject. It's getting to the point, it's like you feel like you got to give them your real number and then just delete it after, because it's that level of aggression that can, like, instantly turn violent. It's crazy. So it's past the point of just simply, yo, ma, how you doing, or what's going on, or, what I'm saying, can I get your number? It's kind of like, if you don't do that, you feel like he might, what I'm saying, that's real life.
I'm very aware of that story. Actually, we talked about that on my other show, but I'm definitely aware of that issue in the lady in New York where the guy, they chased her down, bit her and everything. Like, that's just a lot of emotion right there. That is weak. That right there is a prime example of a weak-minded man. And I could almost guarantee that he was always given everything that he wanted in life. He was never told no, and that it proves on the action like that. Now, is there some cases where some dudes might have had to work for everything? Yeah, but most of the men who act like that are men who never ever dealt with rejection. I mean, this it's something like this. So, for example, when the kids are in high school and they're thinking about where they want to go to college at, right? Well, guess what? Everyone does not get accepted to where they have to go, right? So to prepare that person to even get into a college, they got to make sure they're good. The grades is on point. They got to make sure that SATs and PSTs, or I can't remember what they are, SAT scores are a certain way. You just can't, all right, I graduated from high school, I'm going to go ahead and put my application in, I'm going to get approved. Now, you can go to any college, you just got to pay for it. But if you want to get a scholarship, whatever, you have to compete with other people. So, I mean, I'll just give an example as far as, when I say competing, that's exactly what I mean. I'm not saying that every person has to be number one, but you can't always get what you want. And if you do want something, you're going to have to work hard for it. That's all I was saying on that point.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and press play.
All right. Well, I like how you used that word decline. That was a good comparison. Good word to use in place. But what I was saying, as far as my story, accepting the fact of not being in control. Like when we get rejected or somebody turns down our offer, um, we have to accept the fact of not being in control. Sometimes our pride hurts because of that. Our pride.
Yeah.
I realized that being denied, it kind of messes with you. But also, when you accept denial, you gain this type of freedom because you realize that you're not in control of the outcome. So you don't have to jump to conclusions or ask yourself questions why. You be acceptant to it.
I can give y'all I can give you a clear I can give you a clear example of someone being denied or not accepted, and they worked harder to become someone great. So most of us may know the story, some know, but some may not. But I'm gonna say it anyway. So everybody should know the story of Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But at one point in high school, as a freshman, this man did not make the team. He was not accepted or declined. He was not able to make the team. Now, at that moment there, he could have, you know what? I'm not playing basketball ever again. I'm gonna play baseball. I'm gonna play football. Forget basketball. Basketball sucks, right? But what he ended up doing, he went back into the lab and he went back to the basketball court. Now, of course, did he cry? Yes. Was he upset? Yes. Those things are normal emotions, right? That actually happened, right? But what he ended up doing is going back, working harder, getting better. And as of right now, you know his story. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Because at one point in his life, he was declined or not accepted into as something that he really wanted. So it's kind of like the same thing when you know these young boys. You know what I'm saying? Like you sometimes a rejection or a decline or not accepted, it's not always a bad thing. It can be a good thing because it can make you sharpen your tool, make you a better man, make you a better, a worker. It makes you like, you may think you're doing the best, but when somebody says it's not the best, okay, let me go back and do it again. But at the end of the day, it starts at a young age. That's one. I'll leave it there for right now.
Yeah, I think we always come back to these things we're talking about, pros and cons of dating. It's very easy for it to get back to the upbringing. It depends on how you were raised. And then you can, kind of navigate. But thank you again to, I don't want to butcher your name, but I'm going to try to say it again. I think it's Dowmat. Okay. Thank you again for the comment, and again, I love the fact that your acceptance is complete. Now that's, I don't know if you're a believer or not, but that's more or less like how we tend to be. Like, we just accept you. So if accepting you means you're not interested in me, that's fine. It's not an issue. But it really stems from the place of peace that I reach with me and accepting me for me and being comfortable and confident with myself, that whether you accept or decline doesn't have any bearings on where I go, what I do next. I'm not going to be reactive to it. I can still respond, oh, okay, no problem. You have a great day. And I can still, be something, for you, do something for you. It's not an issue. It's not going to be a negative. It's neutral. And it remains neutral because we haven't gone anywhere. So that's how it is for me. And to Twin's point, absolutely, we know that there is a push that comes when a person, for some people, a lot of times in my life personally, if you told me I wasn't going to accomplish something, or you told me I couldn't do something, and I'm not saying this to say that it's a negative. I'm just saying it was in that space where I was in rebellion, but I was determined to prove you wrong. Like, I lived a few years between 15 and 22 specifically where I was on a proving spree. I had to prove, oh, you think this? Well, I'm going to do this. You think that? I'm going to do that. And in healthy situations, it's good. You know, when you're whole and you're you have goals. Somebody told you that you weren't the best, or say no one told you anything at all. When you're a whole person and you can see that there's a better position out there, then you're going to do what you need to do to obtain it. So I agree, twins. Like, yes. And also to go back a little bit as well to your initial point when you said, you know, we give them all the same trophy. We do need to understand that there are levels to it, but I also understand why everyone gets a participation level, and but it needs to be acknowledged as that this is what you get for participating, because whether you did win or lose, you put effort into it. But this is what winners get. So then they understand the difference early as well, you know. So there, that's my spiel on it. I know we have 3 messages. Twins,
Hold
you
on.
got anything else?
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
And the reason why it seems like we keep going back to the youth, because that's the only way we can break the cycle with dealing with these, young emotional men, or these grown men now, but you have to get them while they're young. And it definitely starts when they're young. Now, also on top of that, I'm going to need my brothers, and I mean grown men at this point now, to keep your other fellas or men in order. Like, if a girl says no, you need to say, all right, bro, that ain't cool. If she says no, let's keep it moving, dog. It's a million women in here. We don't got to keep hounding her down. I don't care what she said. It is not that deep, bro. It's like a 10-1 in here, and you mad because she said no? It's not that serious. So I definitely want to hold my men accountable of making sure that their friends are not acting a fool. Because in most cases, and I want to say a high percentage, most men do not go to the club by themselves. I'm going to say that again. Most men do not go to the club, to the bar, to Buffalo Wild Wings, wherever they sell wings and food, by themselves. They either go with one other guy or a group of guys. So anytime a situation just like that does happen, when a woman is being harassed, whatever, and stuff escalate, where was his friends at? You tell me no one see what's going on and no one kept them accountable. So that's a big role there too, because before me being married, I went out, I went to clubs, I went to the bar, I went to stuff, but guess what? I never did it by myself. One, because, if I get in a fight, I need some backup. That's number one. But I mean, not that I was looking to fight, but it's just the fact you don't go nowhere by yourself. Point blank, period. It's just that simple. So as grown men, other men need to keep other men accountable for their actions and make sure at the end of the day we do protect our women. Just that period. It's just that simple.
Drop the mic on that, twins. Drop the mic. We're gonna have to come back to that. Let's go ahead and press play, because I know we know this is a little delayed, but we got to talk about that. So I'm gonna press play to get through these.
Afternoon, folks. Enjoying the conversation, enjoying the chat here. Just wanted to give my 2 cents on the subject matter, and I think Twin's spot on. Like, there's no way a man should be forcing himself on a woman, but not to excuse it, but at the same time, it's terrifying. Like, I think women underestimate how scary it is to walk up to a girl and ask her for a number, or ask her, out on a date or whatever. It's, I think that aspect is properly, underrated. But at the same time, there's no way, you should be getting aggressive as a man. You need to know there's going to be a chance of rejection either way. But yeah, and especially when you go out with your boys. I mean, I feel like if you go out with your boys and you ask a girl out in front of your friends, like the lads, you're setting yourself up for failure, because it's just humiliating either way.
Yeah. And I agree with you saying. Yeah, it's very, very hard, very difficult to walk up to a woman and do with rejection, right? The only thing I can say, the only recommendation I can say in that part, ladies, is, y'all know how to flirt, right? Eye contact, a little smile, whatever. So we can know. And then even if it's a no, you can still break a no, a nice way no, right? But once again, no man shall ever go to an extreme way if you say no, regardless though. But I'll say just at least try to soften the blow. Like, no, baby, I'm just here. I'm just having a good time. I'm married. Whatever the case may be. Whatever. Just try to be gentle
Man,
with it.
we try that, twins. We're not just aggressive, like, ew, I don't want your number. That's defense. So when those women tend to do that, they've already been in defense mode. Naturally, when you see a woman go off, she already told him no at the bar. She already told him no when he followed her to the bathroom. She told him no on the dance floor. She told him no when he tried to talk to her homegirl to talk to her. Now they're outside, she going to her car, and it's like, no. No. But most times it's not like the initial time, the initial, hey, I'm trying to get your number, women, and I'm not saying that all, because there are some situations where, immature women are immature women. So like twins, and I say all the time, we hold those people accountable. They need to be accountable for that negative attitude that they carry. But I'm talking about just generally when we go out, like you mentioned, with your homeboys or homegirls. Oh, and thank you again for the comment. You going out to have a good time. Let's get back to why we're out to begin with. We're not out to, be aggressive with people and fight. And that's not the purpose of going out. So I'm there to have a good time. But if you start to, and I had to show about this earlier, if you start to disturb my peace because you feel like I should talk to you, and I'm not here to talk to you at this moment, I'm here to enjoy myself, then this is where we have a problem. And unfortunately, we do. Women, we do understand that you guys could be terrified making that walk over, especially if you're with your male friends. We do understand that. However, we're not thinking that that's not part of the normal practice and process. So we get it, but it's like, but don't all guys have to do it? You're not doing anything out of the norm. This is part of the normal procedures, right? So why is it that some of you guys, and not just some, but a lot of guys, get really hostile? And I'll share this on my end as a mom. I do not tell my son at all that, every girl is going to want to talk to you. But I also don't give him this sense of, this sense of needing a woman either. I built him up to be confident when he goes to approach it. He's had girlfriends, and what he said in the text when he tried to talk to this young girl was he wanted to court her, blew her mind. And he was 15, going on 16 at the time. Blew this little girl's mind to the point where she was melting in his hand. She didn't know what to do. And he didn't even fully know what courting meant. He just knew from, being in church and stuff like that. But he didn't even know fully what courting meant because it's not a term that I use often. We don't use it in our dating practices as much today as we should. But the point is, the confidence needs to be built on both sides. The girls need to be validated and the boys need to be esteemed and valued. So that way they're not over emotional. They understand I'm coming over to you because I'm attracted to you, not because you did something or have something, or, this is my choice. I'm deciding to do this. So I don't want to mess his name up again, but like he mentioned, I accept that I'm taking this chance to go and have this conversation or do whatever, and you may or may not, accept it. It may not be warranted for you. So that's what we have to understand. It should not be where it continues. We have to change the narrative on that. That's my point. We should not continue to make it be where men are terrified to speak to women or terrified to make that step, because it's part of the procedure. It's just normal practices, and maybe take some of the weight off of it for you guys. I don't know how that will work, but I think that's a part of the solution. You got anything on that, twins, or I can press play?
No, you can press play.
All right.
I think that when it comes to love relationships, it's a different situation in terms of like rejection, because to the other caller's point in terms of like you're not in control, that's absolutely correct. And sometimes it has nothing to do with superficial stuff. So it's not necessarily a rejection of how you look in terms of your attraction, or like the money you have or your status in life or whatever. Sometimes it could be your energy, what you might need, and the other person recognizes that it's too much for them. So I feel also like you have to have like multiple streams of happiness. You have to really work on yourself. Like, you should never be on a first date sitting there and pouring your heart out about past traumas that you've been through with your past relationships. Because for some people that could be a turnoff. Like, that could just be a little bit too much. So if you find that you're just not in a space, that you got to heal all of that first before you could like partner up with someone sometimes.
Absolutely. We got anything on that, Twins?
Nope.
Thank you for the comment, Queen.
I agree.
Yeah, thank you for the comment.
I've definitely dated men before that they had all the check boxes, like a great job, a career, a business, a house, a car, all this other stuff. But like being around them, it was draining me. It was draining my energy to a level that I was not willing to give up that. I couldn't heal them in that way. I learned these lessons the hard way, like investing time and realizing like that person has to do the work no matter how much I love them. Because I also love myself. And I have to also pour into my children, my family members, my friends, and myself. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, but initially in dating, like, you never know, because people will ghost you. People will do hurtful things. They'll lie and make up other excuses and reasons why. And then, if you never really get down to the bottom part, like the real reason of what it is. But ultimately, I just really encourage you, like, to work on yourself, like, get to your own happiness. That way, if it doesn't work out, you still.
I know she's probably going to come back. Thank you again, Queen. Oh, there we go. I'm going to press play.
Yeah, that was a good point that she just made about healing. See, that goes hand in hand with rejection. And the reason we probably often so get mad when we reject it, because we've been rejected in relationships. We've been rejected in friendships. So it's like when we get mad at rejection, it's because we were never, or we weren't accepted in another area. And until we accept ourselves, that's when rejection will be like something that just falls off itself. Like, so that was a good point, because a lot of us don't heal. We get mad, and we're not really mad at that person who rejected us. We're mad at ourselves.
Yeah, thank you both for the comments. No disagreement there, Twins. Anything on your part?
I believe, I'm pretty much echoing the same thing I said before, when it comes to, not being accepted, being declined or rejected, whatever word you want to use, right? That most of the time, if you've been a man, if you've been someone who's been told no before, then you know how to handle the no. But if you've been someone who's not used of being told no, I think those are the ones who don't know how to handle the rejection or decline, because they're always so title of always being, get whatever they want. Either always been cool guys, you know what I'm saying? So, when they get turned down, it's like, what? This never happened before. This ain't normal. No, you won't give me your number. So, that's all I'm saying. Most of the time, these men are guys that have that low self-esteem, I guess. I don't know. I just never been that type of guy or been around guys like that.
But it goes for women too, because when you talk about, if you always heard or only have heard, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. When you come across that guy that don't care about how beautiful you are, they're looking for more sustenance, then it's the same thing. Like, I don't want it to sound one-sided. We don't do that here. So I want to make sure that this is just, generally speaking, we see it a lot more from men, because women are more vocal about it. But it exists with women as well. Men just don't talk about it. They just tend to be upset, But yeah, women, have to deal with these things as well. And it's important. I think we touched on it slightly in other spaces where we talk about pretty privilege, you know, and it just goes to the, well, we talked about a little bit as well on the last show, but when you have the ones that feel like, look, I'm the prize, I don't have to do nothing, this is it, and you should be coming over here talking to me, you should be asking for my number, matter of fact, you should be rolling out the red carpet because you know, all of these crazy expectations. It doesn't matter on which side of the fence it is. We need to cut out all of these unnecessary expectations for people we do not even know. I don't know you. Why am I expecting you to jump through hoops and bounds just to try to get to know me? You don't know me. I may not be the one you want. So why can't we just play from a mutual playing field? That's my take. That's one of the cons, I guess, in terms when it comes to dating. I think that the expectation is that it goes this one way. And when you tend to say, oh, well, I just, I like to vibe with people. Oh, well, you're going to die alone. I'm going to die alone. Because I don't have check boxes. Because I just like to get to know people. That's just my spiel on it. I don't know. It's how I feel. What about you, twins? Because...
Yeah, I can only, as far as that goes, I can only speak from a man's side because, one, I'm a man, and number two, I hear more physical abuse or, killings and all types of things when a man has been rejected from a woman. But I understand the concept of most women who always been told yes, who have been told you're pretty, and they feel entitled for everything. You know what I'm saying? When they told no, they still handle the same thing, but I never heard a woman, a guy, for not giving him his number. That's all I'm trying to say. Like I know plenty of story of men beating up women. The lady said earlier, lady in New York got chased down. They bit her nose. These things I hear all the time. What men do when they are told no. But I do understand women also deal with these things. It's just not on the same level that we are, because in most cases, if you have people's DMs, it could be Facebook, Twitter, whatever case may be, a woman will have thousands and thousands of dudes shooting a shot at them, where guys may not have that many shots at all be taken at them, right? So, but once again, that's why I only speak from the man's point of view, because I'm a man and I know and I heard these stories. So I'm not dismissing that women don't deal with rejection from when they've been told, that they're always pretty, beautiful, all these good things, or maybe they're low scouting through the jobs and stuff, and all of a sudden they meet somebody who don't care how they look. I need you to do this. I don't care what you look like. I don't care who your man is. Do this work now. So I get that part.
Yeah, and not just that. I was more so talking about the accountability part, because you mentioned the men who are immature and you mentioned their accountability. And I was just saying that goes for those women as well that live by that pretty privilege thing, that say, well, I'm just supposed to be taken care of, or you're just supposed to. No, manage your expectations better than that. That man doesn't owe you anything, So I was just making sure that it's an even playing field, because we're talking about it as if men are the only ones that have these unreasonable expectations when they approach women, but it goes on both sides. Manage the expectations better. That's for men and women. No woman should be, in a place of, I expect this man to come. And, what was the conversation we had one time with the woman who went on a date with the man and then expected him to buy the kids food when on the way back from the date? Were you in the room with that conversation, twins?
Might not have been. Not
okay.
Sure. I can't recall the story.
No, it's fine. It's just to say that some of these expectations on both ends are unreasonable and unnecessary. And that was my point in saying this on both sides. Let's just, manage our expectations better. And of course, agreeing with you and the other guys that mentioned, no reason for it to be any aggression on that level. And I wanted to say, when we had played the video, I wanted to come back to your comment when you said, well, where are your friends at? Well, who are you out with? What are they doing? And I'll just share a quick story. For me, I went to a bar. This was some years ago, not too long ago, but I went to the bar. I was in a relationship. I went to the bar with my cousins, and it was a bar that I told I normally wouldn't go to, because I grew up in this area, and it's like, nope, I don't even do it. So I'm at the bar. There's a group of guys, about 4 of them. She's
You breaking up?
Oh, can you hear me? I'm sorry. Someone was
Yeah,
trying to. Someone was trying to reach me.
Yeah, start over.
But,
yeah, last thing we heard was that you went to a bar in a group.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, so with my cousins, I went to the bar. There was a group of guys, about 4 guys. And at this particular moment, when I was approached by the men, my cousin wasn't with me. She was on the other end of the bar because she was waiting for the ladies' room. So I'm sitting at the bar by myself at this moment, and two of the 4 come over to me and they start talking. The other 2 are behind me. So already I'm sitting here like, okay, well, what's up? How's everything going? I'm talking to them. And initially it was kind of calm, cool, and collective. But then I could start seeing how they have an agenda. And, it seemed at that point like, I want to see if you can get her number. So the pressure was on for this guy to be able to get my number. Now, as we're talking, I can hear in little things that they're saying that's the thing. And when Twin said, well, who are you going for? Who are you going with? Where's the accountability? I think that is another part of how we change the narrative and push a different, put us in a different position, because we need to do better as friends to not provoke this type of pressure on each other, because that was the thing. Now, of course, I gave that man my number. He went and diddly-daddled, skittle-scattled to his friends, and he was souped. He was happy about it. And then when he texted me, I told him, listen, I only gave you my number because I didn't want you to feel rejected. I didn't want your friends to clown you, but I'm in a relationship. You seem to be a great guy. I'm not interested. And I dismissed it via text message versus me doing openly in public with his friends being right there behind him. And I didn't find that I didn't lose anything from that, and if he still felt hurt, he was able to do that privately,
Right. Did that same person you just said you sent a text message to, did he reply? Did he say thank you, or what did he say?
Yes.
Or he didn't say nothing at all?
He did reply. I ended up blocking him. He did reply.
Okay, so but he was still aggressive.
Well, he wasn't aggressive. It switched.
Okay.
Like, oh my God, I can't believe you would care that much. And it was weird. I was like, sir, you're not getting it. You missed it. He was like,
okay.
Then he really liked me. And I just was like, okay, I said I'm in a relationship. I need you to go sit down. You're not understanding this,
But hold on, but think about it though. Let's do a quick case study on that. You know what I'm saying? Even though you had to block him though, but his response was, oh, he couldn't believe that you was that kind to him to even entertain him and then let him know that you had a boyfriend and you didn't want to embarrass him. And he was like, oh man, thank you. And he liked you even more, which shows you that this man has been turned down plenty of times prior to that. And so you have to understand where he's coming from. But I get it though. And I think that's cool how it went, but he kept pushing, he kept shooting the shot. So he had to block him. I get it. But I just want to show an example of how many times he's probably been turned down. And so that's why he kind of turned to a stalker afterwards.
Yeah,
sorry.
He wasn't getting it. He was like, nah, you don't understand. I was like, no,
I want you.
You don't.
Like, I want you more now. He wants you more now.
Yeah, that's all he was saying. He's like, yo, forget them. I don't know what they was on, but I'm trying to talk to you. And I'm like, but I've already, okay, I'm gonna just delete you, block you, and then delete you, and then let you figure that out from here on. But
and
for
you
me,
know
like
what?
I said,
and
go ahead.
No. What I was gonna say there, and I'm glad you didn't kept being nice, right? Like, okay, you know what? I'll keep texting them, and you get a little soft spot for them, right? So you did what you did what you're supposed to do. And I think that was great. I know some ladies will still trying to entertain them, try to be nice to them, keep talking to them. The next, you give them your number, then you FaceTime in. And then that situation escalates from there. But you know what I'm saying? Because you start out as a creep, and then you try to entertain it, and you think it's okay now, right? So I'm just saying, like, that was. I'm glad that you didn't block them because okay, all right, I can't talk to no more, and that's where it stopped. It didn't escalate, it didn't go nowhere from there. But I know dudes will keep going with that. Hey, good morning, how you doing? It'll start with good morning. How's your day? Do you need anything? And then you might want to chit chat a little bit, just be nice, and then it escalates, right? So you did the right thing.
The do you need anything is the kicker for me. Can we talk about that type of response or feedback from a man? First, what do I need anything? I got a grocery list.
And that right there is probably where most women mess up at, right? Because if you ask anybody, you can walk up. You can walk up to the street right now to anybody walking the street and ask them, "Hey, do you need anything?" And they're gonna say, "Yeah." I will not know one person in the world who don't say, "No, I don't need nothing. No, I need something." I mean, shoot,
Me?
you can pay some of these bills around here.
Me?
You can buy some food.
Me and men be so confused. Pet names, they be so confused. If you coming out the gate, here's my take on it. And this is a con, I guess, with dating, because there's a preconceived notion that how a man is with you is how he is with all women. And I'm trying to dispel that in myself. I don't want to just assume that when a man approaches me certain different ways, that this is just his regular. So what I started doing was asking the question. And now one of the people that I asked the question to, now they say they're gonna call me by my real name, Miss Thomas. Like, what? Okay, I'm not trying to be grown. Even though
you are grown.
Right. I'm like,
you know you are grown. Be clear now.
I'm not trying to be grown, even though I'm grown. And that's why I posed the question the other day, like, is it masculine to refuse pet names, especially when you are at the very beginning? Like, we haven't had a phone conversation or we haven't gone on a date, and you're like, "Hey, sweetie, good morning, cutie pie." I'm like, hold up. No.
Right.
I don't want that yet. That's too soon for me. And it creeps me out.
Yeah, no, I get that part, right. I never really did that as far as give a woman that I never met in my life and be like, "Hey, sweetie, hey, boo," without actually getting to know her. Like, yeah, I mean, but you know what? It's funny. I mean, like I said, I never done that. But I have walked up to a woman and said to her, like, "Hey, excuse me, how you doing? My name's not excuse me." Okay, how am I supposed to introduce myself to you, right? But I mean, at that point, I said, "You're right," and I walked away. But the point I make is like, you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. That's all I'm trying to say there.
No. It's a way to go about it. But let's go ahead and press play, because I think this goes into a different part of the topic, and we know these messages are delayed. So let's see what they have to say about what we were just talking about.
I feel as though sometimes when we're in pursuit for a woman, we trying to holler or whatever, we get over fascinated, over infatuated. And so we move so fast. And in all actuality, women know when you rushing. Even when you hollering at them, they know when you ain't got patience. So I was just thinking about your situation when you said you gave him your number. You didn't want him to feel rejected. Then he felt like he liked you more. But because he wasn't accepting of you telling him you got somebody and stuff like that, it made him
go ahead, play.
It made him look like he was fast, like you was out of control. You had no control over your life. And I'm realizing that women peep that, like they see when you on the go all the time, when you don't know how to take things slow. You ain't got no patience because you over fascinated with the woman. Even if you is over fascinated with her, we gotta take things slow. We gotta take relationships slow. We gotta be in pursuit of people slow. We gotta take the conversation slow. We just can't be thirsty. That means if she says she gonna call you back and you don't hear from her, accept that. Because women know when you're patient. Vice versa, men know when you're patient. So, what y'all think?
I believe because we're in this oven society where everything is a swipe left, swipe right. Everything is so quick. I agree with you saying. Everything needs to be. Everything should take time. time and patience and really get to know someone. But in this era, 2021, I mean, like I said, you go on these dating apps, all you do swipe to the left, swipe to the right. So even in person, people are like, everything needs to be microwave, everything needs to be quick. No one takes time to plant the seed, water it, watch it grow. You want to zap it. So I get it. I understand.
Yeah, you said we live in a microwave oven society. And this is what we're talking about. So I think this also echoes the dating speed, like, dating versus courting. I feel like dating is that quick, let's go. I'm seeing you. I'm not really at that point where slow and steady wins the race. And I think that we can lend that to courting. When you're courting someone, and I don't know if we fully went into it, but when you're courting someone, and this is Miss I Speak Life's tape, you're taking your time. You've already taken the time to court yourself. So for the man courting the woman, and it should be where you're being intentional about learning her. You're intentional about seeing her past where she grew up, seeing her past what accomplished or hasn't accomplished, seeing her, the true version, the true essence of her, and vice versa. When Courtney, you're seeing that man, not for all of the different hats he has to wear and the fact that he has a target on his back, but for his core, for who he really is. I want to know your heart. I want to know what type of man you are when no one else is around. That, to me, that's my thing. Like, I need to know you differently than anybody else, because that's where I feel the most necessary. That's where I feel I can be the most valuable to a man or to a person, is when I like to be in the know. That's also just part of my personality. But I feel like when courting, you take the time to get that internal, not internal, that depth. You get to know the person in depth. In crises, what do they look like? In dire emergencies, and lack, something happened, and this situation put them in a different financial place than they were in. How does that look? When situations come up that are unexpected, surprises, and things like that. I want to understand you on some of these levels before fully committing myself to you. And I feel like marriage is just, I'm going to surrender myself to you, my will, my right to be right. I'm giving it to you when we talk about marriage. And to do that, I need to be confident in you. So I think that's when we referring to it differently in our terms, but to the core of me, I know personally that's what I mean when I say in a relationship. Now it's me and you, it's you and I, and we are trying to figure this thing out. I'm not talking to anyone else. I'm not interested in anyone else. I'm not entertaining anyone else. I'm not saying we have to be married tomorrow, especially because Miss I Speak Life did not believe in marriage until 2019. And since pretty much I've been single. So, in terms of where the relationship's going, it was more or less like companionship, great vibe. We support each other. I have that person that I could put as a beneficiary. Still. With that. Go ahead, Twins.
No. I was gonna say drop the mic with everything you just said there. So, like I said, for me personally, I wasn't very familiar with the word courting or courtship. So I looked it up here, and it makes a lot of sense. There is a difference between dating and courtship or courting. So the courtship is a period development toward an intimate relationship, wherein a couple get to know each other and decide if there will be an engagement, followed by marriage, right? Now, it doesn't mean it has to be. It doesn't mean it has to end with marriage, but it means that you're dating with a purpose, right? Like, okay, because that means if you're courting someone, that means y'all both have something in common that you both are striving to get to, and you're willing to date a little bit differently than you would if you were just dating someone, right? So, like I said, it don't have to be marriage, but it could be like, you know what, I want to be in a long-term relationship, and I'm trying to see if that person, if you're ready, and then from there we can talk about marriage later on. But I want to be in a long-term committed relationship before I get into marriage. So right. That courtship does make a lot of sense, and I think looking back at it, that's kind of something that I did when I first got into my relationship, because I wasn't trying to have sex right away and these other things. So I had a purpose. So I actually did that without even knowing. I was when I met my wife now, I was courting her when I first met her. Didn't know it, but now I do.
Right. And I feel the same here. Like, it was just for long-term companionship relationship. For me, it wasn't necessarily deemed as marriage. Now that's the term, and that's what the desire is now for me. And congratulations again for you, because it's not just marriage, the wedding, the glitz and glam. You know what I'm saying? You're 12 years in, so it was for the long haul. And I think that needs to be acknowledged and commended as well. It on these platforms when we're having these types of conversations, because some people, like the first queen that came and commented, she was saying, she's a woman, she wants to know how it is with dating. But I think it's important that we say there's light at the end of the just gotta choose.
Last thing you said was there is light at the end of the tunnel. That's the last thing we heard.
Huh?
Last thing we heard from you was light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh yeah, you just got to choose the right tunnel. That's it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Choose the right tunnel. I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, you just got to choose the right tunnel. I'm gonna go ahead and press play.
A lot of the things you're saying is resonating with me, and I just wanted to let you know that, especially when you just use the word courting, right? Because that's pretty much how I have approached marriage is before marriage and all that, and is courting. But in 2021, it's a big, oh my God, it's like, it feels like mountains in between people's ideas and understandings of the difference between courting, dating, and literally like are you down to fuck mentality, like in that people can like order people on their phones, kind of, and I'm particularly talking about like online dating, and then just people's reaction or intentions when really like looking at, you have to unpack that, and I feel like you got to really recognize the difference, because people also of course know how to say all the right things, you understand? So it's like you got to figure out where that person is first and foremost, and if it matches.
And that's true. And someone sent me a message, right? Because I got a message here that said, what happened if a woman just wants sex, or if the man vice versa? Those things are still cool, as long as those are something that's communicated from day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's all that you want, that's all that we both require, and we agree to that, cool. But make it very clear that's all it's going to be. Now, at one point, if it does seem to change, I need you to be vocal with that. Like, hey, I know that I just wanted this, but now I think we're growing, or not we, because, the person, because I'll tell you this right now, ladies. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you, clear as mud.
Clear as mud.
Right. I'm telling you right now, if you tell a guy the only thing you want to do with him is just sex, that will just be in our head. That will never change. We'll be okay with that. Doesn't matter how good, whatever it may be. If you just tell me, hey, I just want to have sex with you, we're like, great, I'm cool with that. And we'll do 100 times, whatever. And we'll never think of you in that category as long-term girlfriend or marriage, whatever. Now, some do. So
I was about to say, I don't know, twins, because these men
know,
be catching feelings.
Listen, some do. Like I said, it's not absolute, ladies and gentlemen. It's not absolute. Some guy like, no, I'm in love with it, whatever. But I'm saying,
love.
I speak for me personally. I don't care how good it is. If you tell me that's what it is, then that's all I'm gonna see it is. Now, if it does change, I really need you to be vocal with that, because if we're just F buddies, right? That's all it is. I'm gonna treat you as F buddy. I'm still be respectful to you. Let's be clear. That's me, twin. I'm still respectful to you, but I'm gonna move a different way. So if you want more, you need to be vocal with that. And the same thing with a man. You flip it around. Be vocal with her, like, hey, I want more, right?
Bring up to speed.
Yeah, so I'm just going to put it out there that communication part is very key, and you need to make sure you make it clear on both sides, even once it changes, because people do change. I get that part, but make it clear. If you don't make it clear, that's where problems are at.
I agree. No, I agree.
But yeah, and also with Miss ASAP, you're right. Everything is a swipe. You can literally order people online now in this day and age. You can just go to all these dating apps, everything that you want to see with this person. Like, okay, swipe to the left, swipe to the right. Okay, I like this person. And then if you can talk to the person and y'all can gel a little bit, and then soon as y'all meet each other, y'all get right to it. There's no dating because you've been talking on this app, and based on what I see there, you match up well. Now, sometimes people be lying on these apps now, so don't take everything as absolute. Do your research. But the point I'm trying to make is that, yes, in this day and age, it's very hard for young ladies and men to date in the world.
Now, is that a pro or a con to dating? Because I think the online dating could be, the pro for that could be exposure to people outside of your 5-block radius, let's just say, right? Say you live in a heavily urban area, and typically these types of guys, you get these types of guys, or you deal with this type of woman typically, right? And you want to be exposed to something else. I think that is a pro for the online dating. Me personally, I haven't tried it. I can't say if it works or not, but I think that does lend to a solution. But the con to that is like what you guys are talking about. That negative part is like, at the end of the day, you can't really fully subscribe to what a person is telling you online until you've done some type of background check or research or something, and definitely just not by dry emails. You want to at least have a phone conversation with the person.
I think, listen, I think as far as, I had one relationship. Now, it wasn't a dating app, but it was on the internet. So, I'm old school. So Black Planet, I met one lady there, and we had a long-term relationship. So I guess that's my dating app. But did it turn to marriage? No. But was it a good relationship? Yeah, turned out very well. But that's just one. Mind you, that's only one woman. You don't think I was talking to multiple women at one time when I was on these websites or apps? So I'm gonna be honest with you. So yes, I was in a relationship with one woman, but prior to her, I was talking to 3 or 4 girls at one time on Black Planet. I had the screen here, and I'm gonna keep it 100. So yes, can you get in a relationship with somebody? Yes, but don't think you're the only one to talk to on these social media apps. Just being clear.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and press play, and then I'm going to come back. I have a question. I'm going to state the question right now because you just said it, but I just want you to be able to come back with, your response. So when we talk about not necessarily it being a dating app, right? And we know that we're on media platforms like this where someone can hear us saying, hey, well, I'm single or I'm married, whatever the case is, because we're having this organic dialogue. But on some of these platforms now, if a person comes and they want to show interest based on what you said, do you feel like having these types of conversations in these spaces are like teasers or doorways or advertisements? Or should that not be the expectation just because you heard me say such and such? If I didn't talk to you directly, then that wasn't for you. Hold your thoughts on it, twins, and let me know what you think when we come back from me pressing play, okay?
Okay.
I'm press play.
You mind if I ask y'all birthdays? I'm just doing this experiment, this study on birthdays. People and their birthdays. So I'm interested. Do you mind?
Sure, no problem. Aquarius, January 24th.
What type of experiment we doing? Anything on concept? No, I'm just saying. People get caught up in these sciences and this astrology stuff. Now I read on it enough to know that I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a Scorpio Sag. I'm the 23rd of November.
Hey, listen, I throw it out there. So it was, once again, it's Aquarius, and it's January 24th. If you want to bless me on my birthday at past, my Cash App is the same thing, Twinsinc. if you really want to know people,
so send me my 10%. Send me my 20%. Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
Though. Scorpio Sag for Miss I Speak Life, and Aquarius for Twins. His birthday is the 24th of January, and mine is the 23rd of November. So, twins, this whole time I didn't know your birthday was the day after my daughter's. We celebrated her birthday and all. I don't even think you said anything. Oh yeah, really? You did, because you talked about chocolate cake. You did. Yeah, we were on the line at one point. It's okay. You had something else to say before I press play? Yeah, cool.
Oh, did you want me to answer your question first? Or you want to hit play? Because I think you had a question for me before.
No, go ahead, answer the question, and then I'll hit play.
So when it comes to being either sit in a group around people, or being on these applications, if a woman is talking to another woman or talking to another group of people and she's having a dialogue about things that she likes and things she likes to do, right? She could be saying it for a signal for a certain person for them to hear, right? So even though she's saying anything, it may not be for me to know. I mean, I'll take note of it, but at that point, once I have the capabilities of talking to this person directly, then you need to ask these questions to make sure these are the same things that she's expecting from a man that she, that, at least from me. If I'm talking to her now, I'll make sure from what I heard before, those things line up. Because they may not line up for me because she might be throwing messages out there. And I say that for a reason. Back in my single days, and there's a certain girl that I had interest in, right? And we talk around fellas, and I purposely said things so she can hear that things that I liked and what I like to do. She did shoot her shot. It fell in place. So I'm saying that for a purpose because I actually did that and it worked. So once again, but if it doesn't apply to you, you want to make sure you get clarity as far as what I like to do and what I don't like to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely still get clarity because you got to have the context. There are certain places and stages. And, so if you hear a person say, oh, I love going to the petting zoo, right? Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not there for the entire conversation or you're not there for where that stemmed from, then you wouldn't know that maybe they were just saying that because they were talking about what they do with their family or what they do, So if it's not something and it's not anything wrong with like, oh, okay, I heard it say, but when you bring it back up as if the person said that to you, when you state things or you come across as if this was a conversation you and the person had, let me just tell you, from my perspective, I speak life with all this social media access. We have access to people we would not normally have access to when they say things. If you approach me on something I said in an open space, talking about whatever we're talking about, different topics, different ways, and then tell me or respond to me as if I was talking directly to you, I'm going to tell you, get out your feelings. Number one. I'm going to tell you, look, if you want to talk to me about that, you want to know my opinion on certain things, ask me in this space directly as it pertains to you. Please don't approach me like what I say is applied. That goes back to that accept that we talked about, back to just understanding that the expectation is unreasonable. If you think that every time I open my mouth, I'm talking about you, I'm not considering you every time I open my mouth, especially because I don't even know you. That's a strange thing, and we've gotten so accustomed to it that we don't realize how off and awkward that could be for a regular person or a person. Period. But I don't want to throw daggers or anything like that. So I'm done on that. I'm gonna go ahead and press play unless you have something else.
Nope, you can play.
No, all right.
Hi guys, I'm doing an experiment as well. I need y'all's credit card number.
Can't help you there, buddy.
Oh my gosh. Lord, was that great? Perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
Perfect. That'd be 000, none of your business, 000. I'm pressing play.
I thank y'all. Yeah, I'm just doing this experiment. I'm trying to connect people on their birthdays and their power. I'm still in the midst of doing it.
Was that it?
Hey, he may come back. Okay, there we go. Hit play
okay,
again.
there we go.
Hey y'all. Hey, how y'all doing today? It's Justice.
For just sake, how you doing?
Hey,
Number one fan. Hey.
Hi, Queen.
Yes, I want to know your thoughts. I know you probably just got her a little late, but the question is pros and cons dating and courting. What are your thoughts on those? What do you feel? Or if you're out in the market, how you handling it right now? Just give us a little something. Get it, Blaine.
All right.
I've got a question. If you're romantically interested in someone and both of you have, made it clear that you're into seeing where this is going, do you think it's important to chat to each other every day, or do you think it's not necessary? Like, if you don't chat every day, it doesn't necessarily mean anything?
I don't think it means anything.
That's a hard one. As far, and I make sure I understand correctly, is the communication, right? Every day with one another, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, is it
Is that what
necessary?
you're like?
Does it hold weight if you communicate every day or not? I think that's subjective. It depends on the people.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, for me, example, I was like when I first met my wife, we was talking every day. Like, as soon as I got a number, we was on the phone all day, all night. We worked, came home all day, all night, worked. So, I mean, it really depends on the situation because sometimes the person may want to talk, but they may be in a situation where they can't talk all the time based on what they do. So, text message. But I would gauge it, you know what I'm saying? You know, especially if you're unsure. Me, I'm upfront with everything. I like to be direct. So, I'll ask you, do you mind, you know, how you feel me calling XYZ? If you need a break, let me know. Like, I don't want, like, if I want to get to know you, I don't want to do anything that's going to turn you off, right? So I'm like, hey, just let me know if I'm being too aggressive. My apology. Listen, I'm really attracted to you. I'm feeling you, so my apologies. But I'm not a stalker like this. Just let me know. It's communication, but the energy may be the same. Like maybe don't call for a day until they reach out. But if they call you, then it's cool. So there's no right answer for that. You just gotta gauge it. Have that direct communication, I'll say.
I would say that it matters. If it matters to you, then it matters. If you're the type of woman, and this is where we have to know what we want, period. If you require daily communication with someone you want to take serious and you want to get to know, and that's one of those ways of getting to know them, make that, clear and let that be said. Listen, I'm looking for, some consistency in our communication. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that you should try to weigh it because guess what? You may change. Your work schedule may change and you might not even be able to adhere to your own I have to talk to you every day. So just let it be what you want. Go for what you want. I keep saying this too. Go for what you want. We really can't say in certain areas that it's a right or wrong. There's no right or wrong with that.
Right.
Because
I don't know.
we don't even know what type of depth of communication is happening in that time. Twins just said him and his wife talked on the phone all day and night. They could have just been talking and nothing being, no substance. What's to say? Who knows what's really being accomplished in the time that y'all share, but you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to talk to someone every day, that needs to be something you make clear. Because listen, 24 hours in a day is not as long as it seems. So I'm just saying. I'm going to go ahead and press play.
Well, I'm not in the market, but I have friends that are. And it's based on what they say, it's not a good look. And it's based on men easily getting sex from women. And so they're not that type. They want to actually get to know somebody. And dudes are like, they take them out to eat or whatever. And they expect them to go home with them. Yeah, they're expecting these women to go home with them. Mm. And these are older men. Yeah, so that's what's going on out there based on what I've been told by three of my friends. And they're about to give up. So, yeah.
Don't give up.
Oh, we just said it's a light at the end of the tunnel. Just pick the right tunnel.
Use GPS, go left, not right.
Oh my gosh, use the GPS. My brother has a saying about the GPS. We believers, so it lends to, God, purpose, and something else he says. But yeah, don't give up. Tell them don't give up for justice sake. Tell them don't give up. But it is bleak, and I share this. Twins will tell you I met a person while traveling, and I'm new to this. I don't really understand a lot of what's happening because it don't really apply to me. And that's one of the things like twins and like, if it don't apply, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly. Okay, I get it. But it really doesn't apply to me. So when I met this person, I'm like, look, but if it doesn't apply to me because I live a sheltered life, let's just say, I'm not really exposed to a lot of these new norms. But this other person may very well be very versed in this. So I was on the line with twins, like, listen, I can't even almost play games. You know what this like. I need you to coach me through it, you know? And sometimes that's just the answer. I think someone else mentioned that, you know, get a partner to go through it with or something. Coach me through this, because we can't just, and this is how, just a sidebar, just a little detour. We as parents, this is why we can't be all hard on our children to do what we think they should be doing, because this is that to learn this day and age first and then instruct them, not be giving them instructions on what worked back in 1961, 1962, it can't be doing all that. You got to get up to date with what's going on in this society now. That's why I have conversations with men like twins. I have conversations with young men. I have brothers. Like, I have those conversations. Because when I sit my son down to talk, I need him to understand. He know what go on telegrams. He know what go on in clubhouses, because they're exposed to these things. So I let him know, guess what goes on as well. Let's talk about it. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's too much? Let's have those conversations. All right, I'm back on task here. Just wanted to say that little piece. But yeah, I want us to I agree with you for justice sake, you know, just let them know it's a light at the end of the tunnel, though. It's hope somewhere. Anything else on that one, twins?
Nope.
No, I'm a brother.
I suggested to them that they maybe try to, like, if they have male cousins or their uncles, you know, they have friends, to try to meet some men that way. Because just, you know, blind dates or whatever. Well, not blind, but after a few conversations, then you go on a date and it's a complete letdown. Because he thinks he's going to get sex, because every date he goes on, he gets sex. Right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem that we have now, is that, you know what I'm saying, me and Miss I Speak Like have plenty of conversation about the man and woman and accountability, and it's hard for her to tell all the men not to move a certain way, because like you just said, every man to go out now, they're expecting sex the same day, because there's some ladies out there who's giving it up on the first date. So now it's like, if I'm talking to you, if I take you out to eat and I know I'm not getting it, I'm like, well, I don't bother with you. I can go back to her and get it the same day. So there's a lot going on, and it's tough. And now my prayers go out to anyone out there in the market trying to meet somebody new, because I know it's not gonna be easy. And to add to that, there's no easy way. There's no like, okay, I got friends lined up over here that you can talk to. It's very complicated.
Yes, it's not easy at all. But yeah, I'm a first play. It's not easy. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I'm seeing someone, and like we're both like exclusive in terms of it's been made categorically clear that we're not seeing anyone else, fucking anyone else, or talking to anyone else. However, like, his style of doing things is very different to what I'm used to, and I feel like with any other guy, I'd be like, yeah, fuck this and move on. But there's something in my gut that's like, to me, I don't know, like, this could be different. Because of, like, the conversations we are having are very deep, very profound. Like, we be sending, like, essays to each other. Like, that's how we talk to each other. We talk about, like, really deep things. But I've said to myself, if this don't work out, I'm done for, like, probably a few years. Because, yeah, it is bleak. Dating is nasty. People are playing all these games, all this deception. And, wait, I'm going to do another one.
Well, I'll just say real quick.
And I feel like I keep...
I'm sorry,
because
twin.
of trauma and because of, like, my experiences, I keep going for the same person with a different face. And I feel like I need to do a lot of work on that in me so that I stop going for what's familiar and go for, like, what's right. But also I feel like... a lot of the advice out there, all the date advice, is so generic and so blanket statement when human beings are so different that it's like sometimes you can't even trust like what society is doing with dating or what to follow, because it's every person is different. Do you get what I'm saying?
So what I would say to
Go
you,
ahead,
Miss
Twins.
El, no problem. What I'll say to you, Miss El Cap, is this: be direct, be straightforward to what you want. Ask these questions because I heard you say if this don't work out, you're taking a break. No, don't take a break. If you do, don't take like a maybe 2 month break, not a whole year break, not years break. But what I'm saying is this: be very direct in your conversation, especially what you want. Don't be scared to ask questions because all you're doing is wasting time if you're scared to ask questions. Be direct. Find out what you want. Now, being direct it's totally different from being aggressive, right? So make sure we're being direct but not aggressive, right? So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, being direct, I guess you have to be soft-toned and direct, but being assertive is very different in this day and age. One thing I wanted to say about her comment, and thank you for the comment, Queen. We appreciate the interaction and your input. One thing I wanted to say was that she said, if this doesn't work out, it's like, no. But then she said also, this person that she tends to go for the same person with a different face. And she has some work she needs to do with herself. So with all of those things being said, you just have to be honest with yourself. And I mean, if you're going to be brutally honest with anyone, be brutally honest with yourself. Are you really ready? Do you really want this? If you're going to keep attracting the same type of people, who's to say that that's not the right person for you? What is making you feel like the type of person that you're attracting is the wrong type of person? Are you basing that on society? Because then what happens when you just go and you try to hit the box society put for you and it doesn't feel right? So before anyone can tell you yes or no which way to go, you have to know exactly what it is you want and why this is not what you want, if that's really the case. If your why for not wanting this type of guy that you're sharing this time with now is because society says it's supposed to look differently, then I'd question where you are, period, as a person. Like, just know yourself, get to know yourself fully. It should not be based on society. Your happiness is based on you. You make you happy. And then, a person can do things to, grow your happiness, heighten your happiness and things like that. But ultimately, it's up to you to do that. So I just wanted to say that little piece right there. I can press play.
Miss I Speak Life, you just reminded me of my friend's cousin. She's in Atlanta. And she has a doctorate in education, got her stuff together. But she could not find a man worth his weight in anything, right? And so she decided to move away. She went to I think it was Chicago or Philly. It was somewhere. She went, I think it was Philly or Chicago. And she met a man there. They are now married and have been married for 2021, 9 years. Yep. So you just reminded me of that. Yep. And they're happily married too. Yep, happily married. So sometimes you got to move around. I told him, well, I don't know what to tell him really because I'm not out there and I don't know what it's like. But
hold on, Miss. I feel like. So, done it. What I was trying to do is not work. Oh, there we go. I get a hand clap there. Listen, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So
wait, she said she can't get a man worth his weight. I almost lost it. I was looking for the cracking up sound effect, Twins.
I got both, but look at that. She said, because the part is this: if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, right, and you're looking to be married, woo, literally. And I know other places bad, but in Atlanta, it's really like 10-1. Like it's really 10-1. Like Atlanta is a good place to come to build and work on your business, maybe get exposure. But as far as marriage, finding a husband and finding a wife, it's very tough. And if you can, then you're really good. But like you said, she moved away, got a husband, been married happy ever since. So if you're in Atlanta, people, and you're single, you might want to move out. You might move out and come back, but you're not gonna find somebody here. Go ahead.
Man, she had me at camp. Find a man worth his weight. Oh my goodness. I'ma just That was funny. Thanks again, Queen, for justice sake. Yeah. I hear you. You don't want to tell them any advice because you're not really out here. But I think that you have an example, a representation of what expounding your horizons look like for a better outcome, let's just say. So yeah, I'll press play. Twin said, move, go, run away now. He didn't say all of those words, but basically.
But I told them all kinds of stuff. I told them to travel, to go to places where the type of men they like are. One of them is a stone cold nerd, so she need to be at the library or a nerd convention or something. I don't know, something techie maybe. The other one, she's just pretty, regular. Just, I could see her. I always say I would see her with like a Budweiser guy, the guy that works at Budweiser, drive a Budweiser truck. I don't know where that comes from, but yeah. And the other one is she has 2 children. So it's definitely been a little rough for her, because all the men she meet don't have children, and she doesn't want to have any more kids. So yeah, it's always some little intricacies in there, But yeah, so I mean, it's not much I can do but just support them and hope and pray that they find the one, the right one for them.
I have no, I understand. I have no disagreement there. It's pretty.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Are you good?
Yeah, it's frozen. You might have to hit the play button on your end. Yeah, go ahead and hit that button, brother.
See, that's the thing. There's a massive part of me that's like, I can't trust myself when it comes to romance and dating because I keep, I guess, making the wrong decisions. I'm not saying this guy I'm seeing right now is the wrong decision, but if I'm going to be absolutely honest, the kind of guys that I find myself I end up being with are guys who just have no interest in basically being a part of my life. It's always like how I fit into their life, but they have no like real interest in being a part of my life. And every time like I move on to the next person, and when I meet them, it's always like, okay, this seems promising, this seems like it's different, this time they seem more interested, and they just fall back into the same like, I'm just furniture, what purpose do I have in their life? And they really couldn't give a fuck about what's going on in my life. This guy does. He's really interested in my life, interested in my business, everything like that. It's just, I don't know, like, I don't know. I just don't trust.
You want to respond or hit play? I'm hit play.
Okay, the reason why I asked y'all your birthday was because I developed a theory called the personal power theory. The personal power theory states that based on your birthday, I could tell you your personal power. Okay, with that said, I'm going to start off with Ms. I Speak Life. You said you were born on the 23rd. According to my theory, someone born on the 23rd, their personal power is to supply. That means use your spirit of giving to provide. Use your spirit of giving to provide. Supply. Twinsinc.
You want to say anything, Ms. I Speak Life, before I hit play on the last person and the current person?
I just don't trust that I can make the right decision about choosing the right person because I have got it so wrong. And that's why I'm like, the regular me would give up on this one too, because it would be just like, but there's a massive part of me that's like, maybe I should go against what I would normally do in this and keep seeing where it's going. I don't know, it feels different, but also I don't know. I'm not really saying much, but It's hard what to say when I'm not being explicit.
All right, I understand. Miss good like you still with us? What's going on? Are you having some technical difficulties? Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, she said she can't hear anything. We can hear you. We can hear everything. Just can't hear you.
So Twinsinc, according to my theory, your personal power is to, someone born on the 24th, their personal power is to manage. That means use your spirit of supervision to direct others. Manage.
All right.
All right. What did I miss?
Oh Lord, you done missed a lot. You know,
Tell
he
me.
done read
Fill
you
me in.
what he looked up. I can't fill you in because it was 3 messages that you went by. What happened? You lost connection or something?
I don't know what's happening.
But
It sounds like it's. I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening.
Last
When the
thing you said,
messages
sir.
come in and play, I couldn't hear any of the messages, and then I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm about to go back and play back your last couple messages. But the one lady, she was saying like she's really like unsure as far as she even said I'm not even sure what I'm even saying at the moment. So I don't know, but I didn't know you wasn't hearing nothing at all. The last guy who read us our birthdays and what they mean, and as far as mine go, yeah, I think I do that. I think I manage things very well and lead people. I actually kind of do that now. So you kind of spot on with that reading. But so the last message you didn't hear anything at all, Miss I Speak Life?
No, I heard the last thing I heard was the young woman who came in about dating the same type of guys. And she started to say, I don't know. And when she said, I don't know, it blocked out. So I don't know what she didn't know. But like you said, I can always go back. We don't have to, waste time because we want to get through it. But I can always go back. And if I need to share anything with her directly, I can. So did you have anything to say to what she said?
She's probably still listening. No. And if you still, you can, just replay it again, just, to say it again. If you're still listening, which I believe she is. So just repeat it again. See what happens.
Oh, okay.
You want to hit play or let me hit play?
Yeah, I'll hit play.
Okay, see what happens.
Like, I just feel like I can't trust myself when it comes to romance and dating because I just feel like, we're all like not good at something. For me, it's this.
Well, I don't know if you can't be good at you dating. It's your life. It's not. It can't be predicated on nobody else.
Right, but it seems like you may not be in a place yet that you're ready to be dating because you're unsure right now. What it sounds like. So I don't know if you need to get to a place where you are 100% sure as far as who you are and what you want, because if you're unsure, it's going to be something confusing. If you're talking to me, let's say me and you are talking, but you're not unsure of what you want in this relationship or unsure of things, that's going to be like a turn off for me. So I need you to be like 100% on 10 toes of what you want in this relationship.
And it's also a level of self-sabotage. When you don't go in confident knowing what you want, you self-sabotage because now you become a yes person. You don't make a decision, you're going to fall for anything, right? A person who, doesn't decide, you just go with whatever, then you typically start to resent that person because when you start off, you find out, hey, I don't really care for that. I don't really like that, this, that, and the third. And that can be problematic. So get to know you first. And if that means you have to hold off on dating right now, you should, and getting to know you means you have to be comfortable with being with you. And a lot of people aren't prepared for that. So prepare yourself, start going to read some things, start spending a little bit more time, take a few extra hours of the day with just you, start weaning yourself into that place where you and you get along, you and you know one another, you understand what you like, what you don't like, and it's not based on what a man or a woman or anyone else has to say. This is what I like, this is what I don't like, and this is what I'm willing to compromise on. Because again, if you're going to have the desire to marry or to be in a relationship, you have to know that some of these things you want, they're going to have to be compromised on. You know, you might have to make some adjustments, and you're going to have to give grace for a person fully there, or, you know, or willing to do certain things at first, and y'all grow into that. I don't think we talk about that enough, but that's just my take on it. Twins, you have anything else on that before I press play?
Actually, let me correct that. I hope that someone finds them, because usually when you stop, you know, being interested and you just give up, that's when you find your mate. That's usually when it happens, when you just over it, and then bam, dude comes out of nowhere and you almost throw him away.
See, there's hope. That sound like me. They were like, girl, I'm gonna go ahead and press play.
Man, it seemed like you got Twinsinc down pat, because he's very meticulous. From what I've listened to, they're organized and he manages. That was good. I'm not sure about, I mean, that was like, I would need, it's not for me, but look at me. For Miss I Speak Life, your name is so powerful. Ooh, because the tongue is such a powerful tool. For Miss I Speak Life, Supply, we need more. We need more.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
I felt that
agree.
when she said your name is so powerful. I said, "Ooh, Lord!" I felt it. I felt the power. Ooh, Jesus. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
but when you read mine, I'm like, yeah, he got me down to the T, so I have no disagreement for his reading. But if you're still on, sir, go ahead and read Miss I Speak Life again so she can hear it. She didn't hear it the first time because she was doing some technical problems over there. Story of her life today.
All right, so I'm gonna press play.
Yep.
What I said that I don't trust myself when it comes to romance and dating, because I keep making the same mistakes, going for the same kind of people. So now I'm just like, whatever I feel like is wrong. So with this guy that I'm seeing, normally what I would do with him is I would not continue to give it a chance, but I feel like he's different in terms of the kind of mindset he has. All the other guys that I've dated were, I guess, like they didn't know how to like hold a conversation or have deep conversations about things, but this guy really does, and he's also interested in my life. It's just he's not someone that's like there, but he, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't know whether I should give up on it or not, because I don't trust myself when it comes to romance and dating, because I always keep making the wrong decision. But this time it feels different, but still it's...
I'm interested to hear from her what makes her say it's the wrong decision. Like, what is happening that makes whatever decision wrong? Where is she basing the right or wrong part of it? I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and press play unless you have something, Twins.
Nope, you good. Hit
Nope.
Because with this, I think I've repeated it, but the guys that I tend to find myself going for are the guys who have no real interest in me being a part of my life. They don't care about what I'm interested in, who I am as a person. It's always like how I fit into their life. And I found like I kept going for the same people like that. Like I was with someone for 10 years and married to them, and the whole thing was that. And then after him, it was dating, and all the guys I was dating were pretty much like they couldn't hold a conversation, didn't really want to talk about any deep things. And I always found like that's what I really wanted in a person. And now I've got that. This person that I'm with is like that, but we only see each other like once a week, and I'm not used to that. We talk every day pretty much, and it's always about deep things, but they're a very, very, very busy person. It's like, on the one hand, I'm like, I don't actually need to talk to people every day.
Should I just go ahead and press play?
Yep.
I don't need to talk to people every day, because frankly, I really couldn't care for having small talk. I'd rather have like deep conversations with you. So I don't need to do that every day. I don't even do that with my friends. But then I'm like, should I want to do that? I don't know. I can't trust myself when it comes to these things. And then it's like, I think seeing once a week is good for me because it gives me loads of time to focus on myself. But then, should I be okay with that? Should I not? I just don't trust myself. I think we're all are not good at something, and for me, it's just this dating, romance, love. I'm not good at it at all.
Man, oh man. I think that you are not good at it because your line of measuring is not based on much of anything. You're basing it on society, and society is ever changing. It's a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of ways of life, and you really just have to go and hone in. And in that time that you do have with yourself, just decide what it is you want. And you're going to have to trust yourself, or you're going to have to trust one or the other. You're going to have to decide which way you go. But again, I would want to hear what makes you what makes you feel like it's wrong choices you've been making. So go ahead, twins. What do you have?
Oh, I have nothing on that. You got it.
All right, play.
All right, when I say supply, I mean she supplies us with the information. She supplies us with the tools. She supplies us with the energy. She supplied. Think about when you supply somebody, you give them supplies. That means she can give them the resources they need to get where they need to go. Because when you think about it, she's 23 and he's 24. They come right behind each other. So after you supply, you manage. So when you think about it like that, let's take the scenario of working at a convenience store. You're not the manager, but you're like a lead shift leader. Like you still have access to certain keys, you have access to certain resources, but you're not a manager. You don't manage people, you just supply them with the tools and resources necessary.
Okay, what were
And
we
that
talking
was yours.
About?
That's your
Oh,
reading.
I'm like,
That's
what are we
remember
talking about?
when he asked? Yeah, when he asked you about your birthday and the date, that's what he was giving to you.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't disagree with being a provider. You know, in the sense, I provide provision and all types of access, and like he said, I do supply a lot of demands. I give the people what they want here on this app, here on some other apps. You know, get the people what they want. I think he's talking about. It sounded like what he said was more or less the chemistry here on this platform with us, how it works. In terms of like if I put the puzzle pieces out there, you put the puzzle pieces together. You know, so this makes sense. It's a working situation. That's just my take on it. I don't know if he's talking about us personally or anything like that, but I mean, this is not a one-dimensional thing, right? This is not all we are. So of course I don't have an issue with that. I don't disagree with the young man. You have anything else?
Nope, you can't play.
All right.
I feel like I want someone to want to talk to me every day, but I feel like I'm the one who's like orchestrating that, and he will respond in the big essays, but he won't be the one to start them off. The second thing that I'm just like is he will only see me once a week, and I'm not used to that. Normally I'll see people a couple of times in the week, but he can only give once a week. So I'm saying to myself, maybe that is a good thing, because then it gives me loads of time to focus on me, because normally I'm always prioritizing them, not me. So this gives me time to prioritize myself. But then, should I be okay with the fact that I didn't choose that it's once a week? He did. And it's like all of this basing on society. It's like, I don't know, like you don't want to be like going along with something thinking the whole time that they're really into you. Because do you know what I mean? I'm
going to go ahead and press play. Let her finish.
Like, okay, society is the one that's dictating a lot of the time, and we tend to follow in to sort of determine what's good or what's not good. But it's like, you know, on the one hand, society say we should talk to someone all the time, and we should see someone all the time, and if that doesn't happen, they're not interested in you, and it's like, that's the thing. I'm worried. Like, I don't know. I don't want to take a risk where I'm like, okay, well, I'm allowing this to continue, where we only see each other once a week, and he'll respond to my lengthy messages in lengthy responses, but only because I'm the one that's orchestrating it. And then the whole time it's just like, actually, he really hasn't been into it as much as I've thought it to be. Does that make any sense?
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and I like the fact that you finally came back with, I want a guy that is going to want to engage with me, meaning you want to be pursued, and right now you're pursuing this guy. So first and foremost, stop pursuing him. If you're initiating the conversations and that's not a comfortable space for you based on what you're saying, then that's not what you should be doing. You have to be honest with yourself. If you want to be pursued, calm down and be pursued. And if he's not pursuing you at the rate or how you want to be pursued, I would say if you enjoy this person's company, yeah, you can make them aware, like, listen, I'm looking for a little bit more interaction from you. I enjoy your time and, hanging out with you and everything, but I don't want to always have to, initiate it. So I'm going to pull back a little bit. And when you're ready, if you're ready, you create the space and just be honest with them. That's my take on it. But if you know that you don't want to be the one to, initiate everything, don't do that, because you're going to resent him later when you decided to keep this thing going. Now you're 9 months in, then you're a year and 15 months in, and a year and 5 months in. And the time is steady going, but you are fully aware that you're not completely comfortable with this thing, and it's right here at the beginning. So that's my take on that. Take control of the situation. And when I say control of the situation, I'm talking about you, not necessarily, taking the man role or the masculine role, but take control of the situation in terms of what you need to be accountable for. And that's being honest with where you are and what you expect and desire from the relationship. Just my take on it. Twins, I know you said you're back.
Now, I got nothing on that. Now I'm back. You got it.
Okay, I'm gonna press play.
I think the reason why I'm saying it doesn't, there's parts of this that doesn't sit right with me, but does it not sit right with me because society has conditioned me to feel that I shouldn't be okay with it, or because it legitimately doesn't sit right with me? And how can I tell the difference, whether it's societal conditioning or whether it's legitimately not my thing?
I think I kind of just spoke to that, with the last comment you had.
Right. And of course, the message is a little delayed. So, yeah, hit play again.
Okay. You were right, it's one-dimensional, but I've developed this theory through observation and, profiling in so many ways. And so that's why I call it the personal power. It's your personal power. Watching people over the years, I realized, like, I can tune into their power. Like, I can see it visually. I can see their energy and what it does and how it resonates with others. So, me doing that over the years, I came up with these 31 powers representing each day of the month. And I just did the experiment. Online, ads, I did it in person, family, close ones, and it's resonating. So that's why I shared it with you guys.
Oh, no problem with that. I understand.
And with that said, I'm a life coach offering self-discovery life coaching sessions. You can book an appointment, because upon knowing your personal power, you also need to know how to reach it. And that's where the life coaching comes in, self-discovery, because I've discovered myself and I've reached this high frequency, and I want to help other people tap into their powers. You feel me?
Hell yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and take a listen to these to really see like where everything's coming from, because I feel like I'm a little not sure. But we appreciate the engagement and definitely don't, have nothing else to say about it. That's cool. You have anything, Twins, on that?
No, what he was saying, no, I don't. No.
Okay. Anything else you wanna say in terms of where we are with the conversation as a whole?
Yeah, no. Let's see here. I think we kind of touched it with the pros and cons of dating and courting. I think we touched on both sides, pros and cons. Unless there's anything else there that you want to speak on.
No, I think we touched on everything as well. And like I said with the young lady, I think
Hmm.
that's a major question that a lot of folks have is like, am I doing the right thing? And when you have to ask yourself these questions and you're basing it off of society, I think you still have work to do internally. And that's really it. Like, okay, it's different when you're asking little questions like what we're discussing now. What's a better way to interact with a guy or guys when I'm out at the club and they're asking for my number and I don't want them to be aggressive? Well, here's a solution. Here's something you could do. Not saying that we're going to provide all solutions. I mean, no, we're not God and we're not trying to be that. But when we do have these discussions, we try to present some type of solution or a step toward resolve for, the topic. And that's pretty much it. We got another message though. You got anything? Or I'm gonna just go ahead and press play.
Before you play this, you definitely want to make sure you work on yourself and
No,
know
for
who you
sure.
are.
But that's the thing about life, unsure. It's like we unsure things, so we don't want to engage. But that's okay because a lot of people unsure about it. But that's the part of me elevating in life because they gonna see what I was talking about. Not to prove a point or to make anybody look wrong, but man, if people got a dose of what I got right now, they would be powerful right now. I just say it like this: when you sit back in faith and you sit back and just allow the universe to lead you in life, it will take you to places that you never thought. It will take you to dimensions that you never thought existed, that you would never even thought of. And that's where I'm at in life right now, at a dimension where people can't even fathom. And it's awesome.
Got you. What I want
I'm
to
sorry.
say as
Go
well,
ahead, Twins.
I want to say as well, even with the people who listening right now and also listen on different platforms as well, is this you want to make sure you work on yourself. You want to make sure that you're in a place to where you can be, you know, to be found, to be happy, to be in a relationship. Because if you're still broken or you're still dealing with things, because I understand we all have trauma. We all been through things, right? But if I'd have if twins, if I'd have stayed in my trauma, what I've been through, I wouldn't be at where I'm at now. So those are learning lessons you get through and you move forward. But if you still stuck in this situation where you, oh, I'm still hurt, this was done to me, speak positive things into your life. But on top of that, if you stay in that hurt zone, stuck zone, you may miss something that's good. Somebody good might come your way, but because you're still dealing with yourself or still broken and not all the way healed, you may pass up on a good man or woman who's want to be with you and could be your helpmate or whatever case may be. So just be mindful. I understand that we all go through things. Try to work on yourself if possible. Make sure you get counseling if you do it, but make sure just know whoever you're dealing with, they're not the person who did it. Just make sure. Give everyone a clean slate. Don't forget what happened to you. Know from it, learn from it, but just make sure you don't give that energy off to them because you could be passed up on a good thing. That's what I want to say.
Well said. Well
May that-
said. No, I was trying to hit the mute button, but well said. No disagreements here.
Yep. But at this point, I think we touched on everything. If you want to wrap it up, we good. I want to appreciate everyone who tuned in today for this good, healthy debate. Not debate, but a great, healthy conversation because there wasn't any debate there at all. It was just perspective. And I feel the pain for you ladies and gentlemen out there in 2021 who got to deal with this microwave dating. It's very challenging.
To say the least, challenging. Oh, and to the brother that did give us our well, he said he was doing a experiment. I don't really know what the experiment is, but to the part where he spoke about, being at a place, a different dimension. I talked about that a little bit earlier on my other show. When you reach a certain place of peace it's not just being, without trauma, without war, you become whole. It's a sense of wholeness. It's a sense of, something else, a different presence being there. And I think that's what he's trying to say. He's reached this awareness of peace that, how we say and believe, and us as believers, surpasses understanding. That's all you're saying, and I agree. I'm happy for you. I want to say that, and just be mindful that not everyone's obtained that type of level of peace yet. Not everyone's there, and as you go on your journey, it sounds like you want to help folks get there. I think I heard him say, and that's fine. But just be, give them grace. A lot of times I like to say that everyone's alarm clock goes off at different times, and we have to give grace for the snooze button. So as you continue to push forward and share your message, that's cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You've already been, groomed for accepting the decline. People aren't ready for it. That's fine. One plant, one waters. It's God that makes the increase. So that's all I wanted to say to that. To the pros and cons, twins, I think we did an excellent job on, really keeping a balance on the accountability level. As we talked about this, we don't have a one size fits all answer. It's definitely, though, for me, for Ms. I Speak Life, my definite is no, you do not go with what society says. Now, you can do research and you can see that the statistics show this and that. And if you want to deal with this or that, and then base it on your life. But to just go what society says, I have to do 90 days. And society said that may not be beneficial for you. So step 1, get to know you. Step 2, get to know you. Step 3, get to know you. That's how I feel about the situation. That's my take. That's just my take. Because in all of that getting to know you, you're allowing yourself to open up to other people that's going to like you. So that's how I feel. That's my stance on it. And look, now we have another message. I'm going to go ahead and press play if you don't have anything, because you're about to say nope. I'm press play.
I just want to say thank y'all, and I'm not going to come in and take over the show because I feel like I'm doing too much. So just thank y'all. And y'all can find me on Instagram, Free Search 101. I also wrote a book titled Enjoy Your Essence. It's on Amazon. It's been published for 2 years. And that's like a step-by-step guide to my happiness. And I want to help you get there. You being anybody and everybody. So just thank y'all. I just thank y'all for this opportunity to promote and share what I got going on. And just want to let y'all know, stay blessed. God bless y'all. Best of luck on y'all journey and y'all endeavors in life. And we all in this together. So y'all have a good day, and God bless.
You all we got. Thanks for tuning in. Tap in. We're back on Friday. So we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So, we appreciate the convo. We appreciate the love. All love about your, with your businesses that you got going on, your books. So nothing but success your way. But thanks for tapping in with us today. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us here on The Real Deal versus How You Feel. Again, I am your girl, Miss I Speak Life, and my good friend and brother,
Twinsinc.
Twinsinc. We will see you guys on Friday. Bye.
Later. Bye.